Hello and welcome to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. My name is Mehmet, and in each episode, I explore latest trends, insights, strategies in topics related to technology and startups, plus entrepreneurships. And as you know, from time to time, I have special guests, thought leaders, and innovators who would share with us their expertise in wide range of topics and industries and what they are doing and what the impact they are trying to put their hands on in the world of tech and business. And with me today, I have my friend Vamsi Polimetla, who's joining me from Pennsylvania in the United States of America. Thank you very much, Vamsi, for being with me on the show today. So if you can just start, telling the audience a little bit about yourself, what's your background and your areas of expertise.
Absolutely, Mahmoud. First of all, great to be here on your show, and thank you for the invite. Little background about me: originally born in India, been living in US for almost 20 years now. And if you born anytime like in India, there are only like three things that you can do. Whether you could be an engineer, or you could be a doctor, or could be a failure. So definitely, I don't want to be a failure. I don't have passion for becoming a doctor, so I became an engineer. And I spent like first 20 years of my time on technology. I started as a programmer back in India, those mid 90s, late 90s. And I moved to Singapore, lived there for some time, then came to US. And that was my background about. I started enjoying this computers and like a programming journey. In this process, I realized that a lot of times I was working on writing programs for computers, but what about the programming for us? What are the things that will help us to do better, to become a better human being? So I started researching, I started spending so much time on studying how human beings works, why some people are getting so many good results, other people are settling for average life. So that is where my curiosity started. And I started going to events like Tony Robbins, Brendan Bouchard, Robin Sharma, all the powerful leaders in the world. And I started seeing the pattern. And the same pattern that I do it in the programming side, how about I apply the same pattern to myself and all the people around me? And I started my leadership coaching journey there. So that's a very high level background of where I started from and where I'm heading towards. And it's been about like a 5 years, Mehmet. I'm in this journey and the best 5 years of my life.
Wow, that's impressive. Um, I understood, like at some stage, and everyone, they would stop to think a little bit about, where they are in their careers today, what they want to achieve. For you, and I'm asking this because majority of the audience are people, whether in technology or business, right? Um, from your experience, because you've been on this journey, when was that moment that you said, you know what, I need to do this leap, right? And I need to shift to the next level. Like how really you felt that you need to do this?
Absolutely, absolutely. So everyone gets this kind of like a pivotal moments in their life. I got it like a multiple pivots throughout my journey. So when I moved into management side from technology, like a programmer to the architect to the manager. So one day I had an opportunity to present my vision to entire audience, like about entire organization. That point, like I was like really bad at my communication, and I bombed on the stage. And I realized, oh my God, like I'm really bad at this. I really wanted to start improving. I started putting like a lot of effort, a lot of like a time and improving my communication. At the same time, I was growing with my personal development investment. Every time I spend maybe $100 on my personal growth, it's giving me back $1,000. Every time I spend more, I'm getting more. So that's the starting point of my pivotal journey. And in this process, I became really, really good with my leadership. And I started leading people. At one point, I had like more than 150 direct reports working for me from like pretty much like multiple parts of the world. And I was going good in the corporate career, but I'm noticing at the point like this is not the path I really wanted to go. A lot of people wearing masks in the corporate, and they are not really authentic to themselves. They're just like doing it because their boss asked them to do it. And I realized like this is not the path I wanted to do. I really wanted to just like a true to myself. I really wanted to uh, spend time on what I really like about. And I started like helping people who are around me. That gave me so much satisfaction. This is like one of the reminder that we all need to keep in our mind. Success without fulfillment is ultimate failure. I want to repeat that again. Success without fulfillment is ultimate failure. If you're getting like all the success from your corporate career, but you are not fulfilled inside, guess what? Maybe there is something more that you can do. It doesn't have to be on the corporate side. It doesn't have to be on the technology side. There is something like maybe you can go and help kids. You can go and do some volunteer work. You can go and start like maybe a different path that you always wanted to do. So there are many possibilities once you step into that. So that was a pivotal moment. Like the moment I started helping people, I was getting so much satisfaction, and my coaching journey started there.
Wow, that's really impressive, Vamsi. And this brings to me the next question. A lot of people in business, and I'm focusing a little bit on tech here. Um, Maybe they have this bad idea about what is leadership, and they think like leadership is just managing people, or like I want you to share from your experience because you've passed it all, right? So you shared that you started with a developer and then architect, then to the managerial position. So how, or let me say, what do you tell, fellow people who works today in technology specifically and in general as well about what is really leadership?
Absolutely. So leadership is a lot of people think that which comes from authority, which comes from the title, which comes from the big office space. Honestly, that is not leadership. Leadership is all about like who you are being in this current moment, who you are being when you're talking to the security guard of your company. That is exactly what leadership is. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a vice president of technology or a big manager with a lot of like titles on your background. No, it's about like how you're treating the problem. What kind of energy that you are taking into the problem? Are you doing what you are saying it to other people? Are you walking the talk? A lot of people, they just say all these things when it comes to them, they're not implementing those things. They're pushing their team members. You need to go for extra mile. You need to do extra work. But are you really doing that? So it comes back to one single word, Mehmet. It's integrity. What you are doing when nobody is watching. That
Yeah.
is exactly what leadership. And if you start observing that, if you start stepping into that, you don't need to have a title right now. You can be a developer, you can be a technician, you can be an engineer right now, but you can start behaving like a CEO of your company. You need to start like maybe different angle, different dimension in your mind and start asking like, what would my CEO do in this situation? And you step into that role unconsciously and you do the work. And you guess what? You become the good leader. People will start looking up to you. People will start seeing like who you are. And this is one beautiful quote from Steve Jobs. Everyone, note this quote. This is the phenomenon. Every interaction that you are going to have with other human being, either you are depositing something or withdrawing something. Every interaction that you are having with other human being, either you are depositing something into your leadership account, your brand account, or you're withdrawing something. That interaction could be with your security guard, with your manager, with your CEO, maybe with your wife, husband, maybe with your kids. Every interaction. Leadership is not just in the corporate side, it's in your home. Are you being really good leader? Are you walking the talk? Are you really showing them what is possible through your actions? Or you're just like maybe only the top guy? Is your video is matching your audio? If your video is not matching your audio, there is a great opportunity for you to just adjust that. So that's the leadership. That's like a lot of people, they don't talk about it. That is where all the magic happens. If you look at like a successful people, they all have this thing, this foundation completely integrated into every part of their body. Look at like leaders like Steve Jobs, like look at like Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi. These people, they have this installed, and we can do that. Success is all about modeling other successful people.
Yeah, and this brings to my mind the next question. There must be a place to. I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you. Where does this journey start? Like, I mean, where is really, if someone decides, okay, like I want to embark on this journey and I want to be doing, or fulfilling, as you said, what I'm supposed to do in my job, in my career, in my life. Where does this journey start?
It all starts with who you are. You can start where you are right now and completely taking 100% responsibility of your life. Take 100% responsibility. Don't be the person who blame other person, blame wife, blame husband, blame parents, blame kids. No, take 100% responsibility right now in this moment. I'm going to be taking ownership of my life and start stepping into the role of CEO. I always tell all of my clients, Mahmoud, you are the CEO of your life, nobody else. A lot of times people think like somebody's going to come and save me. Nobody's going to save you. You're the only person. You have to save yourself. So start where you are. Start with your health. Think about the leadership is not just on the technology, on the management side. Are you showing leadership on your health? Ask yourself, like, what are the things the best leader would do in my current situation? You may be a little overweight, maybe a little underweight, maybe you are going through some long-term things. What would this best leader do? And show that. That is the best thing. The moment you start that tackling that health problems, a lot of other problems automatically will be cleared for you. Once you complete the health, go into the relationship side. What is the best leader do in my relationship with your partner, relationship with your team members, relationship with your friends? What would that person do? Am I showing that leadership? What kind of words that I'm using when I'm talking to them? What kind of language I'm using? So what kind of communication that I'm sharing with them? Am I sharing the positive things? Am I sharing the negative things? Am I doing all the gossips, or am I inspiring people? That is the second step. Number three, go into your career and start asking, what would my longer term vision looks like? Do you have a vision for the next 10 years, next 15 years, next 20 years? Spend some time, write down. If you go to a company, all the companies, big corporations, they have their vision. That's the reason they're able to go and attack those visions. For you, do you have the vision for yourself? If you don't, guess what? If there is no target, how do you know where to hit that rocket? Right?
Yeah.
So if you don't see something, you can't hit it. So always like have that vision in front of you for your career. And the final component, Mohammed, is about your contribution. Connecting back to the spiritual, connecting back to the superpower. Why you are here? What are you contributing? Am I just like taking my life for me, or am I using this life to donate something back to the world? It may not be in the money. It may be your knowledge, maybe your time, maybe resources that you have with the people on the other side of the world. They don't have these resources. So all these areas, not just like on the technology, not just on the management side, there are like multiple areas of leadership that you can start implementing, and you can start seeing that. And this is how you need to balance your leadership. You need to balance your life, and you need to do more fun things.
Yeah, that's a great insight, I would say. Um, the next question I want to ask you, like, of course, we've put the foundation, we know where the start point is, but like anything else, we need to be empowered with some tools, we need to be empowered with some um, ways to achieve this. So you came to something very important, is actually, and I like it's from Simon Sinek, like define your why, right? So you need to have your why. So you defined your why, and now you're going there. What you would need down the road to reach this why?
Sure. Always remember this. Our life is almost like a buffet. When you go to a buffet, if you just go and pick only one item from the buffet every single time when you go there, you're not doing justice to the buffet. So buffet means you have so many things available to you. So you need to start experimenting things. If you're thinking this is the only path that I have, how do you know what are the things that are available? Just take an example of a mountain bike, Ahmed. Mountain bike got 10 gears, and 90% of the people, they're using the default gear. They don't even know there are more gears available to you on that mountain bike. So start exploring the things. Ask yourself, like, what are the things that really, really brings you happiness? And start spending some time. How can I just make this my bigger purpose in this life? How can I make like maybe this like more time on this? How can I spend more energy on this? The moment you start spending that, the moment you start doing that, you're going to be finding that. If you're sitting on hands, you're not moving anywhere, it is not going to come and fall on your lap. You need to step out from your comfort zone. You need to start taking those extra steps to see what are the things that are available to you in the buffet. So the moment you go there, you will find those things.
Yeah, that's also great to hear. Now, one of the things you do, Vamsi, usually is like other than coaching fellow technology and business people about leadership. So one thing which we discussed, me and you, before, is regarding how to turn their knowledge, right, to something that they maybe can start something, build a startup, maybe they would offer it as a service and so on. So I'm pretty little bit curious about, this area that also you work with your clients on.
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, I help people to break that invisible glass ceiling. A lot of people they install some ceiling on their own, and they think like I cannot exceed more than that. So, for example, you're a manager and you're making maybe $50,000 a year, maybe $100,000 a year, and you think, oh, it's impossible for me to go beyond $150,000 a year. Who said that? That is like a lot of times we install it and we just sit inside that box. There are so many people who are making $700,000, $800,000 in terms of the compensation for the same work that you are doing. The moment you start seeing those possibilities, you are not going to be sitting in the box. You're going to be start seeing the what can I do? What is my next step? How can I reach there? It's not just about the numbers, it's about the possibilities. Same with your health. What are the things? Like a lot of people think, oh, my dad has diabetes, my mom got this, my grandmother got this, I'm going to get this. No, you can change it. The moment you start moving out from that zone, like a default zone, you can define whatever that you want. So going into this, how somebody can start doing this. Number one thing that I always advise all of my clients, Mohammed, is visibility is profitability. Visibility is profitability. No matter how good you are, if you are not visible to the world, how would somebody know your talents? If Mehmet, you are sitting in your garage and like say, oh, I don't want to do this podcast, how would world know about you? The reason like you and I are talking, even though 10,000 miles away, reason because you are visible and I am visible. That is the number one thing. You need to be visible no matter what you're doing. You're an engineer or maybe a programmer, you are a manager. Start showcasing your skills to the world. People will notice that, people will realize that, oh, there is somebody who is a lot talented here. So start showing up. That's the advice I would give it to anyone.
Like, thank you very much for mentioning this. And it's kind of, if I can contribute a little bit, I know, like, usually I don't talk when I have guests, but if the audience will allow me, and if you allow me, Vamsi, about showing up, like, it's 100% true fact, because you might be the most genius developer programmer in the world. You might be the best, I don't know, visionary. You can draw strategies for Fortune 100 companies, but no one knows you, right? So if you don't show it in front of people, because I'm sharing this from my own experience, uh, and I used to just write it on my notebook, and it used to die there, right? It used to after a while, you know what, I'm not doing this. But Really, I liked you touch on this because this is one of the things that pushed me also to later on do the podcast, is to encourage other people to do the same. Like, don't keep it with you, right? So that's, thank you for bringing this, and I think you did the same thing, Vamsi. So because when we discussed the other time about how yourself, you were in the IT, like, and us people working in technology, we are seen as the introverts and the geeks, right? That they don't. And this is would bring the second question: how we can break this? How we can break that? Yeah, like these tech people, they are introverts. They don't have the communication skills. Some people would say, "Oh, you know what? Like, I'm afraid to go." And you mentioned something now, so I need your advice about like how we can break this. I would say, I call it a virtual wall or like a fictionary wall. How we can break this and just go in front of people.
Sure, sure. So the easy way to do this, like start something small and start immediately. Don't wait for a perfect moment. If you just like maybe bought a new camera and the first 50 pictures of that camera is not going to be that great. After 50, you're going to get beautiful picture. Maybe 55, even better. Maybe 100, you're going to have a beautiful like photograph coming out from that camera. Same thing with you, your skill. The first 50 times, nobody's going to be recognizing you. You're not going to be getting any applause. You're not going to be getting so many downloads for your podcast. You're not going to get any likes for your social media. That's okay. But after 55, maybe after 70, after 75, entire world is noticing who you are. So don't sit like until you are perfect. Start now with what you have. A lot of people I noticed that they wait for a perfect moment. They wait for a perfect opportunity. Guess what? There won't be any, never be any perfect opportunity. Today is the right time.
Yes.
Today is the right time, and start something, start immediately and start small and improve on, maintain that cadence. If you're doing every day, for example, Matt, you're doing this podcast once a week, do that every week for the next 55 weeks. And that way you build that confidence. After 55 weeks, you're not going to be the same person. You'll be the number one podcaster in your town.
Yeah.
So that's how I would recommend.
Yeah, and just to add on what you said. By the way, I'm doing daily, so this is I think it will be the 72 or 73. I'm not sure. So I do
Sure.
daily, and 100% agree. And the other thing, to your point, I advise everyone about don't wait until you are perfect to show up. There are plenty of examples, but the ones that came to my mind, right? So if you go and see how Apple started it, they had this, the Apple One. It was in a wooden box, right? So it was not perfect, right? And this is something started a whole revolution. If you think about something like Dropbox, I'm not sure if everyone knows, but Dropbox, they didn't have even a product when they showed what their vision. They had just a video and some sketches from the founders, right? So I used to have this problem myself. I want everything to be perfect. And then I came, I'm talking here about from technology and entrepreneurship. I was lucky to read a couple of books, that talked exactly about the same. Some of them related to self-development, some of them related to entrepreneurship, and yeah, and everyone knows nowadays um, the something called agile, lean model, whatever you want to call it, like where you iterate, you build something, get feedback, and then move on, right?
Hey.
Until you will find, because if you keep looking, and I liked what you said, like it's consistency, right? So keep repeating. You might, I don't like the word fail, you might not achieve what you aim to do. I don't call it fail. And then try another time, right? So one of them, it will it will work. Now final, before we close, like with you, Vamsi, for today in this episode, I wanted to just like explain a little bit about the program that you have, and what the audience can expect if they want to reach out to you. What is inside the program that you run, and what are the outcomes that they could expect?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I help people on different levels and different stages of their journey. So the very first program I mentioned here, Mohammed, is called Personal Leadership Academy. So this is for the people who install that invisible glass ceiling on their own. And they're thinking, oh, it's very tough for me to become a manager. It's very tough for me to become a leader of this organization. That Personal Leadership Academy is the great place to start. We eliminate like so many things from that and so show the possibilities. And the second program that I recommend for people is called Communication Accelerator. This is the program where every person should go through, no matter where you are. You are a programmer or you're a CEO of a company, because we coach all the people in the hierarchy. So through Communication Accelerator, you become a better communicator. It's not about the skills that you have on your college degrees or like maybe on your resume. It's about like how you are communicating those skills, how you are communicating your words to the world. So I highly recommend people will start looking up like a Personal Leadership Academy or Communication Accelerator programs. And they're available. Like if you go and Google my name, maybe Mohammed, you can drop my LinkedIn profile
Sure, I will.
in the show notes. They'll find those things. And a lot of times we offer these trainings for free. So look up for the links and you can sign up for the free trainings and you can join one of those trainings. And if you really wanted to work on that for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, there are programs available, and we help people to achieve their 10-year progress, 10-year goals in less than 12 months.
Wow, that's really impressive. Well, Vamsi, I really, really appreciate your time today. It's like, I know it's early morning for you still. It was really insightful. I hope that also the audience, whether they're going to listen to it or watch it, will find it useful and helpful. I will be dropping the LinkedIn profile of Vamsi, so if you want to connect with him, and you can find also his website also as well. And again, thank you very much, Vamsi, for your time today. Any final thing you want to say before we close?
So one thing for everyone, start before you are ready. Start before you are ready.
Wow, that's really nice to hear from you. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the audience who tuned in to listen to this episode today. As usual, if you are watching it through YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and share also the knowledge with others. If you are listening over the Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any other podcast platform, again, don't forget to follow us. And as usual, and I'm repeating this and I'm insisting on this, if you have any questions, if you have any feedback about whether this episode or the show in general, I would be more than happy to listen to them. You can reach out to me by email. You can find me on LinkedIn and Twitter. I would be more than happy. If you want to come to the show, you have an idea, I'm again very open to talk to you and have the discussion. Thank you very much. And until we meet in the next episode, bye-bye.